Hello, guys, and welcome to Growing Gratitude. I am Becca Lori Hector, and this is Growing Gratitude. Growing Gratitude is my weekly attempt. Walter, stop whining. I stopped petting him, and he's now complaining that I've stopped petting him. Growing Gratitude is my attempt to grow their gratitude in my life, and I hope that it inspires you guys to do the same in your lives. Um, I am going to stop petting him, and I really hope he stops whining. Okay. Um, anyway, so gratitude today. It's going to be a tough one for me. I knew it was going to be a tough one last night because I was really stupid duper out of spoons last night. And I thought about not doing it. I thought about a lot of things. But I think what I want to do instead is show you how hard life can be sometimes. And that the struggle is real and that still, right, you can continue to work the skills and tools and all of those things that I talk about. So yeah, I am currently on my couch in my spot in my smush because this is what Sunday looks like for me most weeks, right? At least Sunday morning. Morning Bernard, morning CV. And so most Sunday mornings look like this for me. I hope for Sunday mornings to look like this for me. Sunday afternoons these days, I have to be over at the shack making coffee, things like that until we close. And yeah, so that's kind of what Sundays are kind of coming out to be. Well, in any case, you guys, if you follow me regularly, you know that seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression, whatever you want to call it, is something that I struggle with on top of my usual depression, which I also have. So I am well in it, you guys. This is it. I am definitely like in it. And I am so tired of being tired. I don't even know how to explain that. I'm tired of waking up in the morning already tired. It just feels like there's not enough spoons in the world right now. I am a hot mess. This is what depression looks like, right? If I don't have to shower, I don't, right? But I do after this have to shower. So, but I mean, this is reality, right? And so, I feel like this week it's a hard week for me to find gratitudes, right? And that's because I'm so tired. And that finding gratitudes when you're feeling really under all of it is really hard. It's hard to get through the jello layers to get there. It's hard to sometimes feel anything besides what you're feeling, right? It's like I'm feeling depressed and it's just levels of depressedness over the course of this time, right? It's like sometimes it's rock bottom depressedness and sometimes it's like, meh, okay, right? But that's what this time of year is like for me. And so finding the moments in which I felt some levity or some joy or some relief or whatever, right? In which to have gratitude for is hard to see through all of that, right? And so it gets super challenging at this time of year. And I think that this is the part that people struggle with, right? It's really easy when, hey, Burnett, it's really easy when you are feeling good to find the good things. But then when you're feeling bad like this and your brain starts to talk to you funky, it's really hard to find the opposite language, right? It's an effort to do that when you're really this low. And so I want you to understand that this is me still saying that I truly believe in gratitude and I know that it works. But I also want to acknowledge how hard it can be to believe in it when you're feeling really like shit, right? That's the reality. And so it's in these moments that we have to hang on to what small amount of faith we have that these skill sets work, right? To continue to do them because it's hard. It's hard when going to the bathroom feels exhausting, when getting ready for bed feels exhausting. And that's sort of the space that I'm in right now. And so, yeah, to do gratitude today is hard, but it's also probably the most genuine thing that I could do right now because there's really nothing else I can do for myself. I have to keep moving. I want to keep the inertia away despite being too exhausted to move, right? And so inertia, and when I talk about movement, it's not necessarily about doing a lot of physical movement. It can be a lot of mental movement, a lot of creation. Like I do a lot of creating through the computer, which doesn't take a lot of physical activity, but I'm still creating things like that. Anyway, beside the point. And so, it can, though, get down to being so bad that it is exactly just the physical that you need to do, right? Like forcing the shower, or forcing yourself to do the laundry, or forcing yourself to hop in the car and go to the coffee shack and sit there for a few hours and make some coffee, right? And so, that part of it is important, right? Because I feel like if I give into this piece that I'm in, right, I would quickly dip into inertia and shut down and all that other fun stuff. And so staying busy, staying one day at the vet's office, staying, working down at the shack, staying engaged with the stuff that I do here, no matter what I look like, right, or how shitty my week is really important to my mental health. It's important that I stay in motion some. So when I talk about creating that balance of like, the stuff you want to do and the stuff that you can do and the stuff that you can't do, right? And so this week I couldn't do live stream. Tuesday was really just a tough day for me. I really needed the mental space of not having to worry about doing live stream. And so I took that for myself. And of course, all the guilt that comes along with that and blah, blah, blah. But what I was thinking about is I feel so much worse about not doing live stream than I do about canceling a podcast interview or something else of the like, right? Or telling someone I need extra time on a deadline. And so what I've been thinking about is other stuff that I could be letting go for these next few months. And so thank you to the Self-Defined Living closed group on Facebook for letting me just sort of lay out there that I'm considering not doing a seminar for November and December. And you guys really, partially because other people will be busy. They don't want to spend money on anything that doesn't have to do with the holidays and stuff like that. And everyone's going to be focused on that. And so maybe best to just kind of hold off for a few months on the seminar stuff and take care of myself. And I knew in here that was the right choice, but it was like I needed, sometimes you need a sounding board, and I needed that from my group. And so thank you, group, for helping me to sort of parcel through that a little bit for myself. And so that's where I'm at. I'm like lightening my load of the things that I don't truly enjoy. And so once again, other things besides the YouTube are taking a hit because I really, really I know that there are things that I could do to make my YouTube channel better, and the things that I do here on the channel better, to make my sound better, to make the quality of the lighting and all of that other stuff, and to edit and things. But that takes spoons that I don't have. And at the same time, I'd like to be able to know that this channel is big enough that it'd be worth dedicating the spoons to doing all of that stuff, if that makes sense. Right, to add in the little like end screens and do all the cover photos, or have photos on that and all the fancy stuff, right? That takes time and energy and all kinds of things. And so I don't do those things right now because I'm not sure that what I do here on the channel is as enjoyable for other people as it is for me sometimes. And so I'm sort of in that space. So you guys have seen out there, I have challenged myself to growing the channel, like doubling the channel essentially in the next 2 months. I'm real close to 500. I'd like to be at 1,000 by the end of December, which gives me 6 weeks to get ourselves doubled. And I really could use your help. I would love it, love it, love it if you just like flat out grab the freaking link to my channel and just share that. I don't care. Share my posts of wanting to grow the channel. Please, I appreciate it because I can only reach so many by myself. And if you enjoy the channel and want to see me continue to do stuff on the channel, which I would love to do and make the channel better than it is right now, or better quality, I guess, and make your viewing experience better, or whatever it is that you say about that. But yeah, it's like I need to make sure that the channel is worth it, right? I mean, we all have to have our priorities, right? And that's going to mean shifting some priorities, but I want to see if I can do it, right? Because a lot of the stuff that I do for myself is about creating resources out there that are free and easy and are also like efficient for me. So like not too expensive for me to make and all of that stuff. And what's going to happen is if I want to grow the channel a little bit and I want to up the videos, that's going to take more of my time, which means less of my time to other things, which even though it doesn't directly make the channel more expensive, it does, right? And so I want to make sure it's worth it. And I want to make sure that the stuff that I'm doing on here is worth my energy, worth your energy for showing up, and that enough people care about it that I should continue to put into it, if that makes sense. It will help me to lay out my 2022 and where I'm going to put all my energies there. But all of that is besides the point. That's what my brain is busy thinking about. So if you think what goes on this channel is worth sharing with other people, I would really appreciate your help to reach 1,000 by the end of December, so that I can start out 2022 clear in what my priorities are. Okay, so that's that side point, right? So here I am, I'm sitting in the bottoms of it. And so I wanted to, before I talk about the things that I'm grateful for today, I wanted to just fully share that with you, like my mindset of where I'm at and what's going on and all of that stuff, right? And of course, we live in a town where we're very seasonal. People come here to vacation. So we haven't quite had ski weather, and our warm, beautiful, sunny weather is gone and fall is gone. And so it's really, really quiet up here, which makes it a little tough at the coffee shack. And we also kind of quiet down in autism land. And so, you know, it's a struggle right now. Money is a struggle. Comfort's a struggle. Finding time to rest, finding time to be with each other and recharge is a struggle. Feeling like I'm doing my due diligence with my pets is feeling like a struggle right now. So that's the space that I'm in. And I wanted to show you guys what happens for me in the next steps, right? So I wanted to talk to you about the way that, a little bit about the way that the depression can really alter the way that my brain is thinking, right? And the thought patterns that I have and what I'm consumed with, where my mental energy is consumed, right? And why I feel so tired. So I kind of had a conversation with Antonio this morning, and I was trying to explain it to him. And so I'm going to use some of the stuff that I said to him because I feel like that's close, right? And so I'm really just feeling guilty and ashamed, right? Like I feel like I'm not pulling my own weight around the house, with my pets, when I'm at work, when I'm with you guys, when I'm doing other things. I don't feel like I'm at my best. I feel like I'm doing like a shit job at the things that I do. And so I'm feeling bad for myself about that. And I'm there's a lot of that talk inside my head. And with that guilt and shame, of course, I blame myself for a whole bunch of things, which of course some of it is mine and some of it is, you know, not in my control. And so, but I tend to, of course, turn blame on myself and all of that stuff. What could I be doing differently? What could I, right? And then, you know, on top of that, I really start to, so I begin to feel like I have no value, right? I start to feel devalued. And like, I guess that's the best word. I didn't even use that word with Antonio, but that's the word I'm going to say to describe how I feel. I feel really devalued inside, and I just don't get why people are in my life. I don't understand why people have me around, why people choose to communicate with me, follow me, right? All of that stuff. And that's the conversation in there that goes on. And with that, you know, I then return to the most basic of my most insecurities, which is what I physically look like on the outside. And I struggle with that, with body dysmorphia and stuff. But I definitely feel when I get really depressed, I feel bad about my physical self. And I definitely feel fat and ugly and old right now. All of those things. I feel definitely unattractive, and I start to have anxiety about that. And I start to have anxiety dreams about Antonio leaving me and all kinds of stuff. And then my anxiety picks up, and that's a really fun match. But of course, we know they feed off each other. And it's so fun to be able to intellectually know that they feed off each other and yet emotionally be in that mental struggle. Anyway, very interesting the way that the brain can compartmentalize those things. But yeah, I mean, that is the reality of the self-talk going on inside my head. That's the reality of it, right? And so there's a piece of my brain, again, the intellectual, logical part of my brain knows that that's what's going on, and that a lot of the stuff, like my brain is lying to me right now. That's what's going on. My brain is lying to me or exaggerating, right? Things like that. And I'm aware of that intellectually, and yet the emotions and the feelings of that don't go anywhere, right? I still feel all that stuff, even if I intellectually know it's not true, right? So that's where I'm at. And when you're down in this space, I know how hard it can feel to find the gratitudes. And the longer you're down in this space, the harder it is to find them. And so I know that those are the people that say to me, gratitude's such bullshit, or why do you even bother, or oh, toxic positivity, blah, blah, blah. Right. I know that's what's behind it. And so, in these moments, as I sit here, how do you do it, right? How do I feel like poo, right? I mean, like poo, like the poo on the bottom of someone's shoe right now, right? How do I feel like that and yet continue to stay in motion and go out in the world? How do I feel like that and continue to use the skills that I know are the things that get me through it, right? It's like believing in something like, how do I trust that? And I think my spiritual self trusts that. And I didn't have a spiritual self before I got my diagnosis, before I went on this whole journey and all of that. And so, but it's like this crazy argument inside my head all the time, between these two parts of myself. And so what do you do? How do you find the gratitudes in these moments? And I will tell you that it took me, right? And we're talking about separate from our usual gratitudes, right? We talk about our generalized gratitudes, right? When we talk about it in group, or we've talked about it in various times in chats and things like that, right? It's like we've talked about being grateful for our eyes and that we can see and that it gives us the pleasure that we can stim on and things like that. And I've talked about the gratitude for where my life is and where, my gratitude for my pets and for my husband and all of those things, right? As being those overarching gratitudes. But what do you do in weeks like this, where like this week I need anything to hang my hat on, anything, right? And it took me most of this morning to figure this all out in my head so that I could tell you guys this today. And I have one gratitude for this week. And sometimes I think that's all it is, right? Can I just find the one? Can I find the one thing to get me through this week to tomorrow, so that next week I can have 2 or 3 or 5 things to be grateful for, right? So my one gratitude for this week is, which is a talk for 17 minutes to get to your one gratitude, right? Talk about taking up space. My one gratitude for this week is that I have managed to create for myself an authentic enough life. This is crazy. An authentic enough life that is true enough to who I am in the life that I want to lead, that it has the flexibility built into it for me to have days like this. I don't even know if I got there all the way with that. So like, I have built a life that is honest enough about what my life struggles are, not only with my family, not only with like my husband and my intimate family, but also with, I think, the world in general, but the people I work with and all of that stuff. And because of that, when I'm having a bad day, I can say I'm having a bad day, right? And I can say, I'm feeling like shit today, or today I'm too low on spoons. Can we reschedule our meeting, right? I'm about to cough. I can feel it. So, yeah, that's my gratitude. My gratitude is for the people in my life that are understanding and that I can be my authentic self with. Okay. People I work with, the people in my generalized life. And then, of course, I'm grateful for you guys, for you creating a safe space for me to sort of be able to look like this and still do this. Right. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube. It's very interesting to me. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I just recently signed on to TikTok to see if I find it interesting as well. But I watch a lot of it, and a lot of people work really hard at their appearance on YouTube, and a lot of people put a lot of professionalism into their videos, and I don't do that. And you guys still come, and so I'm grateful for that. That I can be my raw, authentic self in this space, and you guys continue to show up. And I'm grateful that I have a life that has enough padding and flexibility that's like the buildings in Japan that I talk to you guys about all the time. That little bit of flexibility that when I have a day like today, if I need to change something that is my usual pattern, I can do that, right? I've built that into my life. And so, yeah, that's my gratitude for this week, is that it's okay for me to not be okay in the life that I have built for myself. That's what I want to say. I can have not okay days because I've built a life that can take that. That is not so structured, that is not so black and white, that is not so by the rules that aren't mine, that is built around what I need and what I want and what I want life to look like, that I can have days like today. And I have that cushion, and I don't have to, on top of how crappy I'm feeling, I don't have to have another layer of crappy on top of it, because for most of my life, that's what it was, just crappy feeling, and then the next layer of crappy on top of it. I'm one layer less, and that's a big deal. And so that's my gratitude for this week. Yeah, that's it, you guys. What are the things I say at the end, right? I mean, that's really what it is. That's how I feel right now, like through the jello. What are the things I say at the end? So let me first say that I'm going to do the thing that I need to do, which is take care of myself. And so I'm lightening my load for November, December, January. I am not going to be doing Asking Spectrum Women. I am not going to be doing, whatchamacallit? What was it? It was something else. You guys, the seminars. There it is. I'm not going to be doing the seminars. I'm going to drop those two things because I think everyone else is going to be preoccupied with their own stuff, and I don't think it's worth pushing myself through for that. And I just think registration will be back up sometime around February, when we usually kind of get back into our grind of things. And so I'll be back with Asking Spectrum Women in February. I'll be back with a new seminar in February, but I'm going to take a few months off from that, and I'm just going to stick to my writing and my quiet things. So that means live streams and newsletter will be around for the next few months. The other stuff I'm just going to drop for a few months and take care of myself. Yeah, it's not easy. I am validating and recognizing to you guys that I am not a toxically positive person, that it's not easy to use these skills. But I do know that if I choose these skills over my older habits of how I dealt with this, I at least get results that I enjoy. I at least am getting better at it this way. The other way, I was just giving up any control or power that I had, or any choices that I could make, is really what I mean. And I just let, the world, the life, make choices for me. And I don't want to do that anymore. So that's where I'm at this week, you guys. I'm sorry it's not a more upbeat gratitude. I hope I have an upbeat gratitude coming up. I hope something fun or positive or good or whatever that is bigger than this fog of glob of jello of blah that I am surrounded in right now. I can't wait for it to lift. I just cannot wait for February right now. Okay. With that, I will see you guys out and about on the interwebs. Of course, if you are, if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe below, right? Sorry. But really, I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by December. And so if you think what I do here is important or interesting or entertaining or educational, please share the channel with them. I would really appreciate it if you guys could do that for me, because altogether there are many more of us. And so I'd appreciate it. Yeah, and I will see you out and about on the interwebs, of course. I would love it if you guys continued your gratitude practice, no matter how shitty your week is. So get out there and do your gratitudes in whatever way you need to, in a way that feels true to you, but is very much in the moment, mindful, and about, being conscious of the things that get you through each week, however you need to do that. I will, of course, love seeing your comments. I love your shares. I love your thumbs ups. I see all of that, and all of that makes a difference to me. And so I hope you will help me grow the channel, and I hope to see you guys on Wednesday for the next Being Becca Live. I'm not sure of the topic. I have 2 in mind, and so I'll see how I feel about it by Wednesday. So that's Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm here in Colorado. And then, of course, I'll be back next Sunday with the next Growing Gratitude that I hope will have some good stuff in there. I hope the week brings me that, and I hope to see you there. Anyway, you guys, take care of yourselves. Get out there and seek some joy, create joy, share joy, all the joys. And I will see you out and about out there. And then, of course, I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, guys. Thanks so much for spending time with me today.